everyone. This is PHTV4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski. Welcome to Meet with Moraine. This is a program where we meet every month and tell you some interesting and great informative facts about Moraine Valley Community College, which is in Palos Hills. I'm sure you've driven by it 100 times, and it's over there. We'll give you a chance to learn more about it in our programming today. We're really happy today to have Tasha Campbell. Tasha, welcome to the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Tasha is the Director of Financial Aid. So this is really important for actually everyone because everyone needs to know about financial aid. And I think through time, I went through the financial aid situation when my kids were in college, and it seems kind of daunting to start with. And I think a lot of people kind of fear, like, what do I do for all this? But that's why we have Tasha here today to help us understand a little bit more about the process. But before we talk about that, we're going to find out a little bit about Tasha and how long you've been at Moraine Valley and what brought you there.
I've been in Moraine Valley about a year and a half by way of, I was at Aurora University for 12 years. Altogether, I've been in the financial aid field about 16 years.
Okay, well, you're really an expert after all that kind of experience. That's great.
Yes.
So I guess the first thing we need to know, and through time, we've talked a little bit about financial aid, different kinds of financial aid that are available for people who are qualified to get that. But let's talk about what kind of financial aid is available at Moraine Valley.
So we have your federal, through the FAFSA application, we do have the federal grants, which is your federal Pell Grant and your SCOG grant. Then the state of Illinois also offers great grant assistance, which is the state of Illinois MAP grant. So those are the free money, what everyone wants. Then at Moraine, we have our own foundation scholarships that students can apply for throughout the year. And then also from the FAFSA, we have your student loans and your federal work study.
Okay, there's a lot of opportunities to get some monetary help.
Yes, a lot of assistance is available.
Which is great, because a lot of people want to go to college. They feel like they can't afford to go to college, but I think Moraine Valley makes it possible for you to get these grants or loans or whatever and get started, and at a very reasonable cost. I always like to say that because I just think everyone should start at Moraine Valley. I mean, it's just such a great opportunity to get a great education at a lower price than a four-year institution. So that's just actually not really an opinion. I think that's pretty much fact, isn't it?
Yes, that is a fact. You are very affordable.
Very affordable.
Yes, we are.
Exactly. Okay, so how do you begin the process of getting financial aid?
Well, the very first process is the FAFSA, which stands for the free application for federal student aid. That is the very first step. Any student or parent wishing to receive any type of financial assistance, we do direct them to the FAFSA.
Okay, so when would you begin to do the FAFSA?
Well, in the years past, it was available October 1st of every year, October 1st. But this past FAFSA application and the upcoming FAFSA, it was not available to December. So it was a little bit of a delay this year.
Okay. Does that make a difference to people like applying to schools that it's not really available?
It has had an impact on students knowing what they're eligible for. Usually the deadline was May 1st. Is like your application deadline for students to essentially pick the school they're going to. For some institutions, Moraine does not have a deadline set, so we are an open admission school, so we do not have that deadline, but it does impact when the student would know what they're eligible for. So it's been a delay for students, schools, and their parents.
Okay, so it would affect you a little bit if you knew I was getting, you were going to get more money at school A than school B. It would be like a pending decision for you.
Correct. It delayed the process for this current academic year and potentially next academic year as well.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Okay, so everyone needs to have the FAFSA. Even if I don't want money, I have to have the FAFSA?
We don't. You're not obligated. You're not required to file the FAFSA, but if you're even considering, am I eligible, what am I eligible for, then we do recommend you apply for the FAFSA. But it's not a requirement.
Okay, now I'm just going to go through memory lane here. When I was filling out the FAFSA for my children, I took classes on how to do it. I sat there with notes and a room full of parents, and we all tried to figure it out. Is this process the same as that was, or have they made it a little less daunting?
It's been simplified. So the FAFSA has changed, which is why the delay was this academic year and possibly next, is because the Department of Education revamped the entire FAFSA. So it simplified it, less questions, and a lot of questions were answered based on previous answers. So it made the application less daunting for families.
Good. Because it was like, you were so worried if you filled it out properly or not, and it could be rejected. It was definitely tricky.
That still happens, but we are available our office does offer FAFSA assistance every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then there we assist students, their parents, with the FAFSA application. We actually sit down and offer individual assistance.
That is great, because a room full of parents all, with deer in headlights kind of thing, it was tough. Okay, that is really great. So, see, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for students or their parents who are trying to help them. So you make an appointment to get some help?
Students can RSVP online, but we also accept walk-ins.
Okay.
So that's on Tuesdays, but if you're not available on Tuesday, we do Monday through Friday assistance in our office. It's just this particular time is dedicated, set aside every week for our students. But we do, if you come in on a Monday at, let's say, noon, we can assist.
That's great. That's really good news. And that's really helpful to get a one-on-one tutoring through this.
We'll walk you through the entire application.
Yeah. Now, you have some workshops, though, as well. So it's kind of like what I was saying, where you have a group of parents or students or both getting help where you're not having that individual appointment. What's involved with those workshops?
So we, just a computer. We're in a computer lab. We make sure that parents, we recommend that they bring all their tax data, everything you're going to need, tax data for the students, make sure they know their, your social, all your parents' social, all that information, and then we just offer individualized help. So there we walk around the room and just offer, like, what section are you on in the FAFSA? Do you have any questions? Things of that nature.
Well, this is really going to age me, but we didn't have computers to do that. So we're like doing all this on the paper, and then you mess up and you're like, oh boy, okay, that's a great thing. That sounds
yes, we
wonderful.
are electronic.
Yeah, yay.
Yeah, so
yay for that.
easier.
If you make a mistake, you just
delete it.
Delete away.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have to make an appointment? Are the workshops free? What's involved in
It is
the
free.
workshop?
We offer it free to the community. You do not have to RSVP. We would like an RSVP, but we do have walk-ins. So we have that, like I stated earlier, the FAFSA workshops on Tuesdays, but we also, throughout the semester, offer parent and filing assistance nights. So it's in the evening time. Usually that's from 6 to 8, and that's offered once or twice a semester.
Okay. And did you say you need an appointment for this?
No, you can just show up. We offer that. The students, we recommend RSVPs, but we gladly take walk-ins.
Okay, because there might be like an overwhelming group of people, and maybe you run out of space for some people. I don't know if how
we do
well
offer
it is.
It's 2 huge computer labs.
Oh, okay.
So it is usually well attended, but fortunately, we haven't run to the point where we have an overflow where we don't have room.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's great. And so helpful, really. Do you have to be wanting to go to Moraine Valley or to get help with the FAFSA there, or do you have to make any kind of commitment?
No, there's no commitment. Like I indicated, we are open to the community. So you do not have to specifically be going to Moraine Valley. Should you need assistance, whatever college or university you choose, we're there to help.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Okay, great. So do you do this like now and then apply? Like if you're a junior, or do you wait till your senior year of high school? If you're a high school student, is there a time frame that works best? Can you do it way ahead? Do you do it the last minute after you've decided kind of where you want to go, where you've applied? How does that work?
Your student would apply their senior year. So it's available there, like October, so the beginning of their senior year, you would apply for the FAFSA. That's when your student's FAFSA is available. So your junior year, you can probably have an idea of what the FAFSA looks like, but you wouldn't actually apply.
Okay, because there's like a time kind of frame.
Exactly.
And so this year for seniors, they would be applying in December.
Correct.
Most likely.
You got
if
it.
The form comes out then.
That is correct.
Okay, so they know that ahead of time. Good. So you fill out the FAFSA, now it's on the computer, so you send it in, and you hear from the FAFSA committee when?
So typically it takes about, I think usually 48 to 72 hours for the Department of Education to process your FAFSA. So the student will receive a email from them letting them know that the FAFSA has been processed and released to their school.
Okay, and so it's been released to the schools you've applied to.
That is correct.
So you've got a list.
So
on that.
it's not necessarily schools that you apply to. It could be up to 20 schools.
Oh,
So if you're thinking, whatever school you're thinking, I may go to this school, that's the school. Any and every school you're considering, that's the school that should be listed on your FAFSA, which is why the Department of Education allows 20 schools to be up there.
that's really great because, sometimes you have no idea what you really want to do.
Exactly.
And you might have your top 3, but maybe you're going to end up with your number 12 pick. You
Exactly.
You don't know. So the fact that they allow 20. So the school gets the FAFSA. They say, okay, send you an email. We've got it. When do you know, how does it shake out where, you're getting some financial help?
So you can apply, once the student applies for the FAFSA, the student has to make sure that they actually have completed a Moraine Valley admissions application and been accepted to the school. So usually, whatever comes first, your student can apply for an admissions application at Moraine and then complete the FAFSA, or you can complete the FAFSA and then apply for admissions. But by the time the financial aid office sends out any financial aid offers or award notification, the student has to be accepted to the college.
Okay, so you really do need to make that commitment.
That's
so
correct.
then you know how much funds you would receive
That is correct.
to help you with that.
So once the student has applied and been accepted to the college, usually it's around March or April, they would know exactly what they're eligible for financial aid.
Okay, well that's pretty good. And would that be true this year with the later date, or would it be?
So that was probably April, May.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So that would be a little bit later. So in a way, you're a little bit on pins and needles for a while to see if you're going to get some financial aid that way, because you're going to be going to school in August. So May, June, you're like, oh.
So although it takes a little, there's a couple month delay before you know exactly what you're eligible for. Once the student submits the actual FAFSA, the Department of Education immediately provides a student aid summary form, and it lets the student know you're potentially eligible for this amount in federal Pell Grant and this amount in student loans, and then if you choose work study. But so the student has an idea of what they're eligible for because they see that immediately.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
just, right. So you're not going in, the student or the parent is not going in blind. So they know what they could be potentially eligible for because the Department of Education lets them know that immediately.
Oh, that's good, because that kind of is a sigh of relief. Then you kind of know
Exactly.
about.
Approximately, I'm eligible for approximately this amount in federal Pell Grant.
Okay.
So then the offer letter, when it comes to from the actual school, this is what you're actually eligible for.
And with this, I know you said this at the beginning, but just to clarify again, there's grants and loans and like a student work.
Federal work study.
Federal work study, kind of. So in that, you're agreeing to a job, which you will be paid for.
Correct.
And then that money you can use for school, or you just
It's
have
a discussion.
this money.
Spending money towards school, books, living expenses, whatever you choose. But if you are awarded a federal work study position, you have to apply, just like a regular job. You have to apply, interview for that position, be offered that job. And then once you get your biweekly paycheck, what you do with that money is up to your discretion.
Well, that's great because, you also need money when you're in
Exactly.
school. You need to buy things. So that's great. As far as any grants go, that's money you don't have to pay back.
Correct.
And a loan means you're paying it back.
Yes. If you accept a student loan, you would go into repayment of that potential student loan 6 months after you graduate, or 6 months after you stop attending school.
Okay. So stay in there and hang in there because you don't want to have to pay back that loan too
Right.
soon.
So if a student attends Moraine Valley and then accepts a student loan, and then that following semester they go to a 4-year institution, then they will go into repayment after they're done at that 4-year institution.
Oh, that's good.
So it's not requiring a student to pay back while they're still attending school.
That's good too. Okay, great. Do parents qualify to receive a loan using the FAFSA? Because a lot of parents take out a loan to pay for their students' further university work. Do they go through the FAFSA, like they put their name down in this too, and they say your parent qualifies for?
So that is, the parent has to be on the FAFSA, but the parent, it's not that the FAFSA isn't the loan application. So what you're referring to is the Parent Plus loan, and that's a separate application that the Department of Education offers. However, the student needs to have a FAFSA on file before the parent can apply for the Parent Plus.
I see. Okay, so your student needs to do that, and then if you, the parent, want to help out your student, you need to get the Parent Plus loan, which would be available just online or through Moraine Valley, or how would that?
It's online. The government has a essentially one-stop shop website. It's the same website where the student can apply for the FAFSA is where they can actually, the parent can apply for the Parent Plus loan.
Okay, well that's great too, because sometimes you need that as well. Okay, now see, the website has helpful information so students can learn important terminology, and that's so important because when you read it, you're like, oh, I don't know what that means, but the website tells you what that means.
Yes, we do. We tell you exactly what the FAFSA means, what the terminology on the FAFSA, we break that down, but it's a lot of terminology that even us as financial aid administrators have to get used to. So all that information is available.
I bet that changes through time too.
It has changed.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, so now you got to learn a
a
whole bunch of different
Absolutely.
terms for things. Yeah, you know, times change and that changes too. Good place to start for filling out the FAFSA is to look at the website. Would most students be able to do it without help, most students and parents?
I believe so. I believe the way the Department of Education has simplified the FAFSA, they can start the process without assistance from the school.
Okay.
Obviously, if they need assistance, they can either come in person, or we do offer over the phone assistance as well.
Oh, that's good too. So you can be at home, be filling it out.
Absolutely.
Ask a question
I have a
or
question
whatever.
about this particular section.
Yeah.
We can assist with that.
Because sometimes between the terminology and wanting to fill out properly your answer so you don't get it, you know, brought back to you again, it helps to be able to ask someone who's a professional, what is the answer? What am I supposed to do during this? Do you have a lot of people struggling with this sometimes?
This year, because there was a significant overhaul, there has been a lot of students struggling with the change. Because the thing, especially our continuing students, if you filled out the FAFSA last year, you know you expected it to look a certain way, but this year, because it was revamped, it looks completely different. So there has been some questions, and students are just wanted to make sure that they're filling it out correctly.
Yeah, and after you're used to a certain way, you're like, oh, I learned this, I know how to do it, and now I don't. So it's nice to have somebody to go to and say, how do I, you know, am I doing it right, if nothing else? Have I filled this out properly? We are going to put on our, the end of the show, the website that you can go to, but do you want to give people that information right now, the website they can go to find out about financial aid?
So you can go to, it is studentaid.gov. Again, that is studentaid.gov.
Well, that's easy. Okay, you can remember that. And then I also have morainevalley.edu/financial aid. Is that specifically Moraine Valley's financial aid?
Correct, which is Moraine Valley's financial aid. It's financial aid, Department of Education's financial aid. We offer school-specific information, but for the most part, it is from the Department of Education's website.
Okay. Is there anything else, Tasha, that people, you know, students and parents alike should know about filling all this forms out?
Just our office is available for assistance, and we also, for our student veterans or our dependents of veterans, we do have a Veteran Resource Center available for our students to assist with any type of veteran education benefits as well.
Okay, so if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, you can go to a sort of a different spot.
Correct.
And
We have
get help
entire
that way.
resource centers dedicated to our veteran and dependent veteran students.
That's great too. That's great too. All right. I see that there's a Moraine Valley Foundation. You can get. Would you need a FAFSA for that, for a foundation grant or loan?
It depends on the scholarship. Some scholarships require students to fill out the FAFSA, others don't. So when in doubt, just look at the website and it lets you know all the eligibility requirements, all the information that the student or family may need, or just in fact, the students just can go to our foundation office to get assistance as well. But our office also offers assistance with filling out any scholarship that the student is considering.
Okay, that's great. And the foundation then gives out scholarships.
Correct.
For qualifying students.
That is correct.
Yeah. So there's really all kinds of ways you can get help with your financial needs, and you can, apply and then get some help from the people at the financial aid department. And Tasha's there, and she's got people who will help you, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We're always available.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
I think this is a great topic for people to understand, that they don't fear the FAFSA,
Right.
because it can be scary. It can be a little excited producing if you're not familiar with it. So anyway, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching us. We'll see you next month on Meet with Moraine. Bye now.